The Galactic Council's most seasoned meteorologists had never witnessed anything like storm designation Omega 7. The tempest raged across the mining planet Kepler 442b with winds exceeding 800 kilometers per hour, electromagnetic pulses that could fry any known circuitry, and gravity fluctuations that could crush even the most advanced exoskeletons. The storm's eye alone spanned 300 kilometers of pure, chaotic destruction. Ambassador Vexithari of the crystalline hegemony stood before the massive viewing screen in the orbital station, her prismatic body refracting the lightning that illuminated the planet's surface far below. "Impossible," she whispered, her harmonic voice creating discordant notes that conveyed her disbelief. "The readings must be corrupted." Beside her, General Craxes, a towering, chitinous being, from the warrior caste of Epsilon Eridani, clicked his mandibles in frustrated agreement. No biological entity could survive down there. The atmospheric pressure alone would liquefy any carbon-based life form. Commander Sarah Chen, the sole human representative aboard the station, adjusted her plain military uniform and stepped closer to the screen. Her brown eyes studied the swirling maelstrom with an intensity that made several alien dignitaries shift uncomfortably. "You're saying it's impossible?" "Completely," confirmed Dr. Yillith, the station's chief xenobiologist. Her tentacled form undulated as she accessed multiple data streams simultaneously. "We've run every simulation. The storm generates conditions that exceed the survival parameters of every known species in the galaxy. Nothing, absolutely nothing, could live through that." Sarah nodded slowly, then turned to face the assembled council. "Well, that settles it then." The aliens exchanged glances, their various forms of communication creating a symphony of relief. Finally, someone was being reasonable about the impossible situation. "I'll go down there," Sarah announced. The silence that followed was so complete that the station's life support system seemed deafeningly loud. Ambassador Vexithari's crystalline structure actually cracked slightly, a sign of extreme stress among her people. "Human Chen," General Craxus rumbled, "perhaps you did not understand the data. This storm would kill you in approximately 0.3 seconds upon atmospheric entry." Sarah shrugged, a gesture that never failed to confuse alien observers. "Maybe. But someone needs to check on the mining team that got trapped down there. Besides," she grinned, and that expression made several delegates step backward. "I've been through worse." Dr. Yillith's tentacles writhed in agitation. "Worse? This is a Class 3 atmospheric phenomenon. What could possibly be worse?" "Tuesday, morning traffic in Mumbai," Sarah replied matter-of-factly. "At least the storm doesn't have honking." 3 hours later, Sarah Chen sat in the pilot's seat of a modified atmospheric craft, running through pre-flight checks while the entire Galactic Council watched in horrified fascination. Her equipment was laughably primitive by galactic standards: a reinforced titanium alloy suit, basic life support, and what appeared to be duct tape holding various components together. "Human, this is madness," Ambassador Vexithari's voice crackled through the comm. "We can arrange for a proper memorial service." "Appreciate the thought," Sarah interrupted, "but I've got dinner plans tonight. Can't be late." The entry into Kepler 442b's atmosphere should have been Sarah's death. The storm hit her craft like the fist of an angry god, tossing the small vessel through electromagnetic fields that should have fried every circuit. Instead, Sarah whooped with joy. "Now this is what I call turbulence," she shouted over the comm, even as her craft spun through air thick enough to walk on. "You guys should try this for fun." The alien observers watched their sensors in disbelief as the human craft, which should have been debris within seconds, somehow maintained structural integrity. More impossibly, vital signs from the human inside remained not just stable, but elevated in what their databases indicated was excitement. Sarah fought the storm for 6 hours. She rode pressure waves that could have flattened mountains, surfed electromagnetic pulses that should have cooked her brain, and somehow landed, her battered craft in the eye of the storm where the mining team's emergency beacon pulsed weakly. The rescue itself took another 4 hours. Sarah manually carried 12 injured miners, each weighing nearly twice her mass, through winds that regularly picked up small boulders and threw them at hypersonic speeds. She jury-rigged life support systems, performed field surgery with a multi-tool, and at one point actually caught a piece of flying debris and threw it back at the storm. When she finally emerged from the atmosphere with all 12 miners alive, the Galactic Council was speechless. "That was fun," Sarah announced as she docked. "The miners are all stable, by the way. Couple broken bones, nothing serious." "Ambassador," Vexithari's voice was barely a whisper. "The storm is still raging. Our calculations show it will continue for another 72 hours. How did you—" "Oh, that?" Sarah was already unstrapping herself from the pilot's seat. "You just have to listen to the storm. It's got a rhythm. Once you figure out the pattern, it's like dancing." General Craxus stared at the atmospheric readings. "The storm should have killed you 17 different ways." Sarah paused at the airlock, then turned back with that unsettling human grin. "Should have. Could have. Didn't. Besides," she checked her chronometer, "I've still got time before dinner. Anyone want to go back down? I could show you the technique." The silence stretched for several seconds before Dr. Yillith found her voice. "You want to return? To the storm that nearly killed you?" "Nearly?" Sarah laughed, a sound that would haunt alien nightmares for years to come. "That was just the warm-up round. I bet I could do it faster now that I know the storm's personality." As the Galactic Council watched in stunned silence, Sarah Chen began prepping for a second atmospheric entry, humming what sounded like an ancient human war song. In the depths of space, civilizations that had mastered physics and conquered death itself struggled to understand a simple truth. Humans didn't survive impossible odds. They made impossible odds survive them. And sometimes they asked for seconds.